To the untrained eye, this might just look like a random squiggly line, but it's actually a tribute to one of the most inspirational, legendary musicians of all time. This is a tribute to Avicii, and here's the story behind it. 2 years ago, the world lost an amazing musician. This past week marked the 2nd anniversary of Avicii's death. So I wanted to use this video to honor him somehow because he's had such a profound impact on my life. So I did a little bit of Googling around and I found the Avicii Project. Turns out a coder by the name of Erik had the same idea a while ago, and he had created this project in order to pay homage to Avicii. So I found Erik thanks to the World Wide Web, and I asked for permission to do this video on his project. The project, essentially finding a deeper meaning in Avicii's music through the use of data visualization and artificial intelligence. More specifically, natural language processing. So NLP is a form of artificial intelligence that deals with enabling a computer to understand human language. Everyday examples of NLP include Alexa trying to understand what you just said, or online chatbots trying to help you. The human language just has so many different nuances that understanding it for a machine is actually incredibly difficult. For example, if you think of the word pass, it really has 2 meanings. Either you can pass a test, or you can physically pass a ball to your friend. So here are the basics of how NLP works. The first step is part-of-speech tagging, which basically involves breaking down a sentence into, the parts of speech, such as nouns, verbs, prepositions, and all the other things that they try to teach us that I don't think I ever learned properly. And the reason why we do this is because it answers the question, what function does this word serve? The second step is to create a parse tree so that we can deconstruct the sentence and break it down into its phrases. For example, the sentence, "All my viewers tap the subscribe button," can be broken down into the nominal phrase, "All my viewers," and the verbal phrase, "Tap the subscribe button." Then the verbal phrase can be broken down into the verb, tap, and then the nominal phrase, "the subscribe button." And each of these words can now be broken down into their part of speech as shown. The third step is semantics. Basically, what do these words together actually mean? This is done by feeding dictionary definitions into the computer, as well as sentences where words are used differently. Then, using these examples, the computer can then interpret how the word should be used in different circumstances. Now that we know what natural language processing is, let's talk about how we can use it to analyze emotion in Avicii's music. So the first thing we're gonna do is copy and paste a bunch of Avicii's lyrics into text files. Then we're gonna use NLP and run sentiment analysis on these lyrics. Sentiment analysis is a part of NLP that specifically deals with interpreting emotion in words. For example, something like, "I absolutely recommend this very good service," would come out to be positive, while something else, like "everything was dark and awful," might come out to be very negative. And then something in the middle would be like, "the dress is red." In order to analyze the sentiment data of these lyrics, Erik used the Google Cloud Natural Language API. We can plot the sentiment of each song as a point on the graph, where the x-axis represents the sentiment, good or bad, and the y-axis represents the strength of emotion detected. This is a scatter plot of Avicii's music based on the sentiment analysis of each song. One cool thing that Erik did was he colored the points based off of the album that the song came from. So in this graphic, he used gray for True, pink for Stories, and yellow for Avicii. And we can see this creates this kind of cool, swirly pattern. And then last year, Erik did another similar analysis, but with Avicii's new album, Tim. So he started out with an initial analysis of sentiment and plotted it, just as how we had described before. And then he added a component of ordering to the points based off the ordering of the album, and then connected the dots. He then curved the lines and was able to produce this. So then by connecting these dots and adding this curvature, he kind of created this really cool fingerprint of Avicii's album. Erik had said online that this seemed like a signature of the album, which I thought was really interesting, and that's why I wanted to share it with you guys. I found this really cool and I wanted to try it for different artists. So here are some signatures that I generated for Lady Gaga, Celine Dion, Alan Walker, the Chainsmokers, and Billie Eilish. All of Erik's code is open source, and I've linked it in the description below. He also turned these designs into t-shirts, and you can actually order one of them. I'll also include that below. What Erik had created with the Avicii Project is essentially a new way to see the meaning in music, literally. If you like this video, please remember to click that like button and subscribe for more fun coding projects. See you next time.